I think I landed on a pebble. This is not how they do it in the movies. I'm serious. I think my leg is broken. Don't mind me, I'm only bleeding to death for the love of God.
reasons I also like the Dungeon comic is because it adds an element of camp to the fantasy world, which the fantasy world doesn't usually have.
I have to say my favorite character is Lacey.
Lacey's actually my favorite character.
I think Lacey is my favorite character.
Because Lacey acting alone, yes, she is a crazy, hilarious character.
I like quirky, I like funny.
Lacey's the comic relief.
I don't think anybody but Shawn could write Lace Wings. There's something about her jokes and her behavior that really works through him.
When things get too dark and too cruddy, you can put Lace in there and she takes the edge off.
He also makes me laugh.
I think Lacey's humor is a lot unintentional to the character itself. I mean, it's obviously intentional by the writing of the book.
She's so energetic.
She's a kid.
Lacey's a very.
She's a little sexy sex kitten.
It's almost hard to keep up with her.
She appears to be very ditzy. She appears to be, you know, all about how cute she is.
You got hips, you got thighs.
But she's got these giant boobs for no reason.
I think that she doesn't really interact with people that well.
You know, she's not just a boobies in your face.
I'm not saying that she's dumb. She is not. But naive, absolutely.
She's not just a surface ditz.
She's not just there to be funny.
I've decided that she is a lot deeper than she appears.
Now it's got me nervous. So, to draw Lacey, you have to draw an upside-down egg shape. And she's only 3 foot tall because she's a fairy. And when I draw torsos, I kind of draw this little thing that's kind of like a peanut. That's the center of her body. Right here would be her boobs, which are kind of Lacey's trademark. As Fire calls her, the hovering milk factory. So I start with building these little shapes like such. And if you notice that her arm, even though the shoulder's a little bit higher, if it was pitched down low, her elbow would come straight through the center here. And her hand falls, if it were all the way down, would fall right below her booty. And the thing that people usually mess up when they draw Lacey, or miss the point with Lacey, is that she has big eyes. And she emotes with her eyes a lot. They're actually probably anime eyes, but since I'm not a fan of anime or manga, I don't want the manga people writing me. I probably got that from Todd McFarlane because he is a big fan of those. And then Lacey has just a little button for her nose. And usually when she's talking, her lips curled. Like so. Now, what I'll do is I'll bring her chin down a little bit more to fit. I'll shape her head a little bit. She has big, warm brown eyes. On her nose. I draw my main 3 female characters all differently. They have different body builds, they have different faces, they have different eyes, they have different noses. I know that's a revolutionary idea, but a lot of people in comics draw one girl, and depending on what color their hair is or how their hair is styled is basically who they are. I mean, very conscious effort to distinguish them. Then we put Lacey's corset in. Which in the first couple issues she has a different corset, and as I drew her more and more, I changed the design to it. Kind of made it look a little neater. Then I come over here and I put her laces into her corset. Which were there to play up the name Lace Wings. Which originally her name was just Lace Wings, and I shortened it to Lacey because that was just kind of what I was calling her, and then that just kind of fell into the book. So now we have this, and so her belly button would be right here, and then right here would be her shorts. Which are just kind of like these little purple vinyl boy shorts. Then we put some shadows in here. So Then up here on her hair, she always has one strand that kind of cuts through her nose right there. And since her eyes kind of cocked up a little bit, we have to raise her hair a little bit on that side. And then she has her ears, which are kind of like fawn ears. Which sometimes they're down, sometimes they're up, depending on how much emotion or anger or inquisitiveness that she has. And she should always look cute. Then, over here we're working on this hand. We're going to build the thumb and the rest of her fingers. So I'm just going to put those out here, like so, as sticks at first. And I'm going to break these into shapes. Fingernail. And then there's little rings right here. That's what holds her gauntlets to her hands. And then her gauntlets come out like so. So I may have made her arms just a tad bit too long right there. And I'll put the trim. In there. And then she has these little jewels right on the back. I also turn the paper quite a bit to get to what's the most comfortable line and smooth line that I can make. Now this is all done very quickly, and I would draw her like this in the book, and then once I kind of had her down, I would go through and make adjustments and fix things. Like I'll probably make her waist a little bit wider. Add her arm shackles, which connects her with the castle to let her do magical things. Little metal gleam in there. Touch up her hair a little bit. And Lacey has little small canine teeth. Because when I was a kid, I had bad, crooked canine teeth. Now, bring this in here like so. A little bit of shadow underneath. Come through. Be the top of her leggings, which are leather and toed, because she has little compartments for each little footsie, little toe in there. And then we've got to put her wings in, which are very simple. And they're simple for a reason. I often wonder if I could ask Steve Ditko if he regrets putting all those webs on Spider-Man. Because then he had to draw them in every single panel, as did every other artist. So Lacey has very simple wings for that very reason. And that is a very rough Lacey sketch. Could be toned up a little bit.
At first, it appears that the whole story is just going to focus on Lacey, and I guess she is the mascot of the series. But every so often you have these other characters being brought in until eventually you realize, oh my god, this is actually like a pretty big cast of weird and interesting characters.
Reading the book, you can tell that Shawn has an affinity for a couple characters in particular. If I was picking for me, like who I would want to see, like if there was going to be a Dungeon 2, Electric Boogaloo or something, I would, I liked Ilsa.
I kind of liked Ilsa.
Can I talk about Ilsa now?
Then you have Ilsa. Goes back to what you were saying. about things being real. And the thing with Ilsa is that I kind of modeled her appearance slightly off of Jessie Jane, the adult film actress, who I've met several times. She's very sweet. She's very kind. And the thing is that with Ilsa, she has very specific eyes. That's the most important thing to Ilsa. And her eyebrows. I was very shocked that Ilsa became the breakout star that she did. Not that I didn't think that she was a cool character, I was just surprised how many people latched onto her so quickly. It's nice to know that you create something that people like, and they want to see more of, and they want to dress up like it shows. She's the one that most people either are afraid to dress up as, or have the most willingness to want to dress up as. So as I bring Ilsa into existence here, there's certain things that I do, like she has more of a kind of edge to her lips.
She's got things though too, doesn't she?
She does, because she's a werewolf, so she's kind of one of the exceptions to the rule. So as I get in here, I realize that I have to adjust her a little bit. That's why God made erasers. And then what I do is I still give her a top of the nose because she's got like the pad of a dog's nose. I put it on the bottom half of her nose. So as this comes through here, it's very important that she kind of has eyelids. And then she should have absolutely beautiful hair. And I was actually talking to my booth babe at the show I just did this past weekend about dressing as Ilsa, and she's talking about wearing a wig, and I was like, well, you know, she has pointed ears. She goes, well, if I wear the wig, you know, I wouldn't need the ears. And I was like, but that's what would make the costume, is the ears sticking out. And she has a tuft of hair here. Her lips are black. All the purebred werewolves are some sort of breed of dog. And she would be a Pomeranian. And so her structure is a much more sturdy structure because she would be about 6 feet tall. And so as I'd break her down, get her in here like so. And I'd probably have to touch up her chin line a little bit. To make her more beautiful, like so. And her breast would come in here as the fur from around her chest comes in, and she's covered in the white fur. She would have a much more statuesque body to her, like so.
My favorite character has to be Ilsa.
You know, because Ilsa is the first one to shoot the hip.
She's really awesome.
Ilsa is the first one to attack.
She kicks ass.
She's the first one to be in your face.
And she's fun.
Ilsa is the first one to say, no, I'm going to take care of this.
She's sort of got a lot of spirit to her.
And that's what makes Ilsa so interesting to me.
She's completely evil.
Evil as hell.
A necessary evil.
She's the resident evil girl.
Despite what people might think from all of the you know, scantily clad women art, he's one of the most gentlemanly men. Maybe it's a southern thing, but he's one of the most gentlemanly men that I've ever encountered.
My first impression was that he was a total asshole.
This is a mantra that I use in my life coaching is we don't get what we want, we get what we focus on. And most people are focusing on what they don't want. So I help people to refocus and to reimagine and to look towards where they want to achieve the things that they want.
One of the hardest things to do is break into comics. Most people start out doing something on their own. Like I did that. I did lots of little small press books and independent books and creator-owned books to try and get in and get noticed.
He's definitely a different character, definitely very creative and super funny.
If you like fantasy, you should buy The Dungeon. If you don't mind a little bit of adult material, you should buy The Dungeon. If you're looking for a porn comic, don't buy The Dungeon. You're not going to get it.
He's very difficult on people when he knows they have potential, including himself.
When you talk about love stories within the world of fantasy, they can be a little different than in the world that we know, in that in the world of fantasy, rules are different. People don't have to be the same as they would be in a modern day romance.
One thing that you don't get anywhere, or that I haven't found in many places, is a mixture of all of the elements in one area. And I gotta say, I love the throwback to the advertisements.
I feel I was treated very fairly as a model. I was making sure I was taken care of, made sure I was comfortable in everything I was wearing, everything I was doing, the way I was talking to people, the way people were talking to me. Made sure it was okay that I took pictures that people wanted me to take, and was definitely 100% okay with everything that was going on, and it was confirmed that I was okay with everything.
I personally don't like exploitation that isn't self-aware and not doing it for a reason, because otherwise it does become porn. Otherwise it does become this like fetishistic, an artist is just kind of like masturbating all over a book and then like selling it to me. And I want to know, I want to feel like there's a reason for this performance, and I want to feel like it's a performance. It can be a masterful performance. It can evoke a lot of emotions in me, but I want to feel like it's done on purpose.
The dungeon is actually sort of a departure that you might not just necessarily think that, you know, he would be the creator of.
The writing is my favorite part of the book. I mean, the art's certainly good, but I'm more of a story-driven person.
I think he depicts the women so well and the violence so well and the battle so well that, you know, the art really works. But the writing is sound too.
Blend the two where I can be funny. Humor is utmost importance. I'm always trying to push my humor levels and to try new things and not just the same tactics all the time.
Well, I'm sure I've told Shawn this before, but I think probably my favorite part of the whole series is the homage to Thriller.
Shooting them, or she's beating them down, or they're dancing with Michael Jackson in the Thriller dance.
Well, I sell them here, and they've all sold out. People keep asking for more.
In the book, compared to the artwork to the storyline itself, I'd say that the storyline topples the artwork. I mean, the artwork is great, but it's just so well written.
The switch, just flip on my machine. I'm ready to rock, I got the focus on my dream.
Both winches went to church this morning, so I'm waiting for church to let out.